Hi.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for coming and sitting down with us to talk about your winning Rising Star. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Tell me a little bit about the IEB film strip.
Yeah, so one of the patterns that we're seeing from CMOs as we have discussions about their brand goals in digital is that the funnel, if you will, that we've seen in traditional media is converging in a digital way. Consumers are just moving so quickly across different kinds of content that giving a very linear message was not always appropriate. So we wanted to give them a creative opportunity that was both very flexible in terms of the features that it had within it, fit within a standard unit size so that it could get scale across the internet and be easy for publishers, but also allow them to tell a brand story that crosses the entire funnel and allows them to default to the appropriate place depending on the mindset of the consumer based on the content that they're in, and then eventually they'll be able to add targeting on top of it as well.
So how does Film Strip do that?
So as I said, sort of the way that it defaults is that it will default based on the content that you're in. So let's say you're in an autos make and model page in an autos scenario. We might default to the choose your colors and choose your features on the ad. The user can always scroll up and down the film strip, but it's about which panel do you default to. If you're on the MSN homepage, for instance, we would default to the awareness panel, which is the first panel because it's a broad reach site and the consumer mindset is more sort of broad browse in that moment. So again, it's all about making the ad and the consumer experience come together in a super relevant way.
What does it open up for creatives in terms of, you know, giving them more of a palette to work with?
Yeah. So we built it with features and functionality in it that it gives a much broader canvas. It turns a 300 by 600 into a 300 by 3000. So they have a much longer
By 3,000
panels because it's five panels in the film strip. And also it brings in social, video. Over time we'd like to bring in features from Bing, so local maps, local listings, that sort of stuff, so that as you move through the funnel, it enables the creative teams to really tell the creative story and not worry so much about the technical aspects. We'll give them a sort of a full toolkit to do that.
Great. I know that, you know, Rising Stars was an initiative to, you know, bring more brand advertising online because that's been one of the long-term challenges in the industry. I'm wondering what else, you know, is there to overcome in terms of attracting more brand advertising and what can be done in addition to Rising Stars?
Yeah, I think there's sort of three things in the way that I look at it. It's about the environments we're creating for consumers, and are we really, as a publishing community, thinking about the consumer experience in a more brand-oriented or traditional way in terms of the kinds of content we surface and that sort of thing. There's the creativity aspect, which obviously Rising Stars is going directly after. And then the third thing that we're really seeing from our customers is measurement and getting at-scale measurement and making sense out of that measurement that you can have in digital in relation to your traditional campaigns. So we don't easily fit into media mix models as an industry, for instance, and we've got to address that.
Right. One question that I'm asking a number of people who've been kind enough to sit here is what's a digital campaign you've seen that's affected you emotionally, happy or sad?
Yeah, so I would say there's one campaign that comes to mind immediately, and although it is a Microsoft brand and it's a product I'm particularly proud of, Bing has really taken the digital creative landscape and worked very uniquely with it on our own properties, but also across the industry. And they did a 300 by 600 that actually is a sidekick that was also a winner on our MSN homepage that was just fantastic to show the very unique differentiated features of Bing, but in a really, really brand-oriented way that was, it made me quite, you know, happy. I wouldn't say it was a sad moment. So that's one for sure, and I think, you know, some of the things the auto dealers are doing, I can't call out a specific campaign, but they're doing some really creative stuff in terms of how they tell stories, and I watch that industry in particular because they are big risk takers in digital, and there's a lot we can all learn from what they're doing.
Oh, great. Is there any new and exciting projects you're working on that you want to talk about?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the Rising Stars we've used as sort of an anchor to really think about how we break open creativity as a whole. You know, yesterday Peter mentioned Peter from the IB mentioned that many publishers didn't submit to Rising Stars because they wanted to have proprietary use of their sort of creative secret sauce, if you will. And at Microsoft, like, we really think, yes, there's a place for that at the super custom end. So we're working on some custom units around augmented reality and how to bring mobile and the PC together in a more integrated way. And at first, those will have to be proprietary because it's complex. But over time, our goal is really to take everything we do and scale it across the industry to anyone that wants to use it, because we feel that's best for us and best for the industry as a whole. So I'd say bringing mobile and the PC together is really, really important for us at this point.